PTPOP here, with all four lobes of my brain securely bound behind my back. And one of my viewers asked me, why do I make so many call center videos? I'm going to discuss that. Stay tuned. So, one of my subscribers asked me, why do you make so many call center videos? Why are you so obsessed with talking about call centers? And I was thinking about it. You know, I make a lot of them, and it has made me a tiny bit popular, just a tiny bit. You know, I'm not exactly a Pukey Pie or any of those people. And I was thinking about it. You know, my videos about call centers are not about call centers. They're not. They're about corporate America. They're about how corporate America mistreats its employees and makes you think you got it made. They make you think you got it so good. You know, they'll hire people into these call centers, tell them a whole boatload of lies, and then paint it as if you've just got it made. You've got benefits, you've got a great place to work, you're working for a great, strong company, you can get promoted, yada, yada, yada. My videos are not about call centers. It's about how each and every one of us that work for a major corporation, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, are lied to and treated like dirt on a daily basis. And I'll give you an example. My wife works for a major company here in the United States, headquartered here in the U.S. And they merged with another company several years ago. And the wonderful, brilliant men, as I say, it's all men that run these major corporations, mostly men, did not have the foresight to see the huge undertaking financially it would take, the financial burden it would put on the company to merge with this other company. So now, several years after the merger, they are being pressed to trim the budget of $500 million in salaries. So, in their infinite wisdom to trim money from the budget, they've decided to lay off several thousand people. And in the process, what they decided to do in their just wonderful white male infinite wisdom was to let everybody know months and months in advance that there were definitely going to be layoffs. And so they let everybody know, and they said to everybody, hey, we're going to have layoffs near the end of the year. And many of your jobs are going to be eliminated. Most of them higher end jobs. And I guess that the powers to be got together in a big boardroom with an oak table and a bottle and a brandy snifter and some cigars and said, you know what, Bill? Let them all know ahead of time. So now for the last 90 days or more than 90 days, my wife's job is on the chopping block along with her team and her peers, people that are on the same level as her, as well as people above her, including her boss, who was the vice president. So all of these people are now wondering, and have been wondering for several months, is my job going to be eliminated? And it's been torture. These employees of this company have been tortured, mentally and emotionally tortured, for several months, knowing their jobs could very well be eliminated, but they don't know if it's going to happen. They know when. It's going to happen on the 30th of October. And they were told that it's going to happen, but nobody will tell them if their job. Now, I told a friend of mine this, and they said, why don't they just tell them ahead of time, say, hey, your job's going to be eliminated by October 30th, to give them a 90-day head start to look for a new job. But they're not doing that. So the rumor is that they're doing this because they wanted people to quit, find other jobs. They wanted to torture people, so they quit so they don't have to pay them the unemployment benefits, and to pay them for salary and things like that. There's a package they're going to pay everybody when they get cut. And so what they've heard is they did this intentionally so people would quit, so they didn't have to pay out the severance pay, the severance package, which is totally sadistic. Totally, these are sadistic, sociopathic, psychopathic fuckers. It's all they are. And this has tormented my wife. It's tormented me because she's the primary source of income here in the house. You know, I don't make any money at this. I make like $100 a month between this and the sales of my books, which isn't enough to even, you know, fill up one of our gas tanks in either of our cars. Maybe fill it up a couple times. And when I talk about these call center videos, I'm in a roundabout way talking about how maniacal corporate America is. Now, I can't speak for corporate United Kingdom or corporate India or corporate France or whatever. But here in America, the men that run these companies are sociopathic, egotistical maniacs, sociopathic, psychopathic fuckers that think with their penises and think with their egos and think with their power, and they don't think about the little guy. And as I've said in other videos, if you want to see how good a company is, watch how good they treat the least of the people in the organization. They're treating the guy that pushes the broom and the call center rep well, then you know they're treating everybody above there good. And I don't understand this. I don't understand my wife's company or any company, but my wife's company has done this intentionally. And the reason this is, I found out why they have layoffs at the end of the year. Because they're trying to make the numbers look good for the following year. So what happens is when they have massive layoffs at the end of an existing year, like in 2023, they're going to lay off people in October. So the market, their stock price will rebound. So the investors will go, oh, they're freeing up a bunch of salaries so they can improve their numbers, so their stock price will rise. So they're doing this strategically. It's not just to be maniacal fuckers. It's designed to improve their profits because the company my wife works for, their stock has dropped. In the last year, it has dropped by over $45 a share. Just completely gone down the toilet. So what their strategy is okay, we'll free up $500 million worth of salaries. We'll improve our stock price. So the CEO can go to his pedophile island and have his leather mistress torture his nipples and all the sick, twisted things that they do with their extra money and have several houses in several countries and have their money in tax shelters and all this other stuff. But none of the big wigs at the very top are going to take a pay cut. I mean, these men make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Hundreds of millions. And if they truly cared about their employees, they would take salary cuts. But I'm sure they have strategic reasons, and they have explanation as to why the chief executive officer and the president don't take pay cuts. They wouldn't dare take a pay cut. They'd rather see all these people get put into unemployment when the economy is horrible and inflation is through the roof and there's no jobs out there. Makes perfectly good sense. So what this company did is when they merged, they have what's called redundancy of positions, where when they merged with this other company, there's somebody doing the exact same job that my wife does. And maybe that other person for the other company is making less money than my wife, so they'll get rid of my wife to save up the salary and bring in the person from the other company who's maybe making half as much as she is. So when I talk about call center videos, I'm talking about the corporate world. The corporate world is a dark, insidious, maniacal, twisted place. It's a dark place. And they don't care about you, and they don't care about your family, and they don't care that your mother's dying of cancer, and they don't care that you're about to have a baby, and they don't care that you've just built a new house, or you just bought a new car, or you're trying to put your kids through college. They do not care. And in my opinion, the only way to combat these corporations, the only way to bring them to their knees is to stop investing in their lousy products. Stop investing in the lousy products, in the trinkets and the toys and the bullshit that they make in some factory that's staffed in Vietnam or China or Mexico, where they have slave labor working for pennies on the dollar. Stop Stop patronizing these awful corporations that are selling you junk that you don't need. Phones and cars and seat covers and cigarettes and booze and coffee. Stuff that none of us need and don't really help our lives. They make our lives worse and they make us sick. Stand up against these corporations. Stand up for yourselves and your family and your wife and your kids and your friends. Stop patronizing these companies to bring them to their knees. That. If we had a worldwide movement where we stopped buying all the junk that they're pushing down our throat, the burgers and the hot dogs and the pizza and the cars and the cigarettes and just the absolute garbage that they make, that they're making billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off of our suffering, off of our diseases. They're profiting off of us getting sick. Stop patronizing these people. That's why I talk about call centers. It's not just about call centers. If you think about it, the call center is a small part of a major corporation. And if you really look at how they treat us in the call centers, and they treat us like such garbage, you know that they're a garbage company. Because these guys at the top, they act like they don't know about the call centers. They know about the call centers. They know the bottom line, how much the call center costs them. And if you're, as an employee, costing them more money as a call center rep, they'll get rid of you. They'll have a chart. They have meetings. And they go, this guy isn't pulling his weight in the call center. Find a way to get rid of him. Find a way to get rid of him. I'm sure of it. So that's why I talk about call centers. It's a dark, maniacal part of a dark, maniacal corporate system, a dark, maniacal corporate world. And the corporations now run the world. They've bought and paid for every politician, every judge, police officers. They have greased the pocket and greased the palms of just about everybody that is supposed to be there for us. It's time we turned against these corporations and stopped patronizing them. Because if we stop buying their products, start living more in a simple life, they won't have the money and they go out of business. I'm PTPOP. I'm signing off. Auf Wiedersehen, baby.